how to create a glowing edge effect like this in Photoshop. Go to Edit menu and Fill, and then go and select Contents and Pattern, and then select the custom pattern. Now the one I've got here is an arrow design. I will show you how to create that later, but first just select it. With that selected, then go to Script, turn that on, Symmetry Fill, set that, and click OK. And you'll see a design like that. Now, depending on the settings will of course be varied, so you can just change this, and you can see as you change that, you'll get a different design. So I suggest something around about -90 and 100. You can change that as well, and you can see that creates different designs. We'll push it up to 100 again. Also, color randomness. The shape design that I'm going to be using will be grey, and the reason for that, it creates a whole variety of colours when you use this colour randomness. If you go for red or something, it will all end up being reds. So brightness randomness 0.99, but the key thing is dilative rotation. So set that to 7 and set to the max, and then click OK. Now you can apply it a couple of times. So go to Edit and Fill, and again use exactly the same. Just grip there and click OK and apply it again. And then it creates an even more intense design. So you can apply it 2 or 3 times to fill it out completely. Also, now you can go to Filter and go down here to Stylize and Oil Paint. So Oil Paint, and set that to 0.98, 0.5. They're the only settings you need to worry about. Don't turn lighting on. And then click OK. And that smears it, makes a nice smeary effect. And then you go to Filter and you can apply it again. So Oil Paint, apply it a couple of times. And also, one thing with oil paint, always makes it a bit duller. So I always find that image, adjustments and levels always works nicely. And you can just tweak it a bit, make it a bit brighter. Just change that, make it as you like, and click OK. To get the glowing edge effect, you need the glowing edge filter, and you can find that in the filter gallery. So Filter and Filter Gallery. There's loads and loads of great filters there, and in combination work amazing. So Filter Gallery, and go to Glowing Edges. So Glowing Edges, select that one in Stylize. I would suggest set your edge width to about 5 or 6, brightness about 7, and smoothness, you can change that to whatever you want. Just tweak it, maybe something like 9, and then click OK. And you've got a really lovely glowing edge effect there. But what you can also do is you can apply the filter, both of them, again. So go to Oil Paint, so apply that a couple of times. So Filter, Oil Paint, say 3 or 4. And again, you might want to tweak the colours, image, adjustments. There's a load of different settings, but also use the levels again, just to brighten it up a bit. I think that just looks nicer, and click OK. You can then go to Filter and Filter Gallery again, and that will apply that glowing edge effect again. And you might like the effect, you might not. And then Filter, go to Oil Paint and apply that. And you can see then you get that, and you can repeat that multiple times. Personally, I think twice for the glowing edges. Otherwise, this just becomes 3 or 4, 5. It becomes a bit of a mess. So Filters and Oil Paint, Filters and Oil Paint. And you can see then you end up with a lovely glowing edge effect, super quick in Photoshop. But how to create the shape, the initial shape? Well, you can use all kinds of shapes to create this, but a really sharp shape is super useful. You could use the arrow like this, but what I want to do is I want to slightly crush it. So I'm just going to go over here and just drag this up and get something like that, much sharper arrow design. Then simply rotate it around. So just drag this around, hold down the shift so it ends up straight up, and then you can reposition it. But also what you can do, you can add a shadow to it. Go over to the Layers panel, down to Effects, click there and Drop Shadow, and set it to Drop Shadow there, and also set the distance, spread and size. I'm going for 41, 19 and 51, and also set opacity to say 66, and then click OK. Now you need to define this as a pattern. How to do that? Well, you need transparency. So I need to delete the background or hide it anyway. Just go over here, layers again, just click here. That hides it. And then you simply select this, the rectangular marquee tool, and just drag over. That defines the area for the pattern. So just drag and make certain you avoid going over the shadow. So just make it a bit bigger. Then go to edit and then define pattern. And then click OK. Select and deselect. So you've got your pattern design now, and that was the design that I used to create that lovely glowing edge effect. As before, simply go to edit and then fill, and then again make certain you go with pattern, and then select the actual design you created, which was that one just then. And now custom pattern script, you can turn it obviously on and off simply by going here and set the symmetry fill and click OK. As mentioned, you can change this. You don't have to go with the one that I created. You could simply modify it to go with a pattern like that, say. But I think if you set it to 100, it fills more of the screen. If you don't, you might find you've got obviously a lot of empty space. And click OK. And you get something like that. And again, exactly the same, edit and fill, and play again. Sadly, there's no repeat fill feature. Click OK and then click OK there. Exactly the same as before, simply go to filters and go to oil paint. Filters and oil paint. That's the great thing about this. You get the repeat feature just here, and filter gallery, and then filter, oil paint, and so on.